Good afternoon, guys. This afternoon's topic A is an article done for meditation. So we'll discuss that today for today's A. But the meditation article, uh, the title is Nine uh, Contemplations of Death. Now, this is a meditation guided program that I did notes on for y'all. So here we go with the explanation. The Nine Contemplations of Death, a guided meditation. Date for this article, guys, is February 3rd, 2024. Thank you for joining me for this 22-minute contemplating death meditation. Let's turn down the volume in our mind and body and environment and turn toward today. There is so much we do not know about death that we cannot know until we experience this transition ourselves. It's only natural then that we may greet the unknown with fear and anxiety. Thankfully, there are a variety of wisdom teachings that can provide refuge as we approach our human condition. The the lineage of today's 9 contemplations of death comes from Atasia in 11th century Tibetan Buddhist scholar. The contemporary scholar, teacher, and social activist Joan Halifax. This contemplations these contemplations have been passed down for many generations because they are full of truth and insight when practiced regularly. They can help us explore the inevitability of our deaths and allow us to center what is truly important to us while we are still alive. When you're ready, I invite you to settle into today's practice, finding a comfortable seat or perhaps lying down in savannah or compose pose. Feel the earth's gravity hugging your physical body towards your seat or whatever surface you are resting on. Close your eyes or lower your gaze, and if it feels supportive, place one hand on your heart and the other hand resting under your diaphragm on your lower belly, grounding and signaling to your nervous system that you are safe now and can relax. You are supported here and are joining a long line of ancestors by affinitively uh, who have practiced death uh, contemplation for hundreds of years before this moment. Honoring this connection, take notice of your breath, inhaling and exhaling, in inhaling and exhaling, present and rooted. From this place of safety and relaxation, I invite you to please consider these truths. The first contemplation of death. All of us will die sooner or later. Death is inevitable. Not one is exempt. The most notable person who ever lived, the wealthiest human alive, and the humblest human alive will also die. Death is a death is an death is an inevitable outcome of life. One can avoid this fate. Reflect on the profound equality that death bestows upon all, rendering meaningless all distinctions of wealth, status, and relationships. do do not lose the opportunity to be with this simple fact. I too will die. Watch what the mind tries to do to avoid being present with the, the inevitability of death. I can face this truth. Death is inevitable. This is a first uh, contemplation. The second contemplation, our lifespan is decreasing continuously. Earth beneath each, each each breath brings us closer to death. Our movement towards death never stops. Consider the restlessness, uh, consider the relentless passage of time and the breviary of life. In the grand scheme of our universe, we are living in the dash somewhere in between our birth dates and the day we will die. How might I live more fully today in this moment and in every moment amidst this truth? Our lifespan is decreasing continuously. This is the second uh, com, com, contemplation of death. The third contemplation of death will indeed come whether or not we are prepared. We may spend time contemplating death and preparing for our spiritual needs. The needs of our logistical minds, physical bodies, our dependents, and our belongings, or we may not. Death does not discriminate and will come regardless of whether or our affairs are in order. This is wise to be mindful of death and to use time, energy, and resources to prepare for this inevitability. When we are not in active crisis mode, we can make decisions with authenticity and integrity rather than panic and fear. What do I need to know to feel prepared for my inevitable death? What do I seek now to find peace with the spontaneity of death? Death will indeed come, whether or not we are prepared. This is the third contemplation of death. The fourth contemplation, our life span, like that of all living beings, is not fixed. Human life expectancy is uncertain. Death can come at any moment, sleeping or waking, while we are healthy or in pain. Think of the 116 people who died every minute on the planet, the nearly 7,000 people who die every hour, and the 166,000 people who die every day. Approximately 8 people have died in the 4 seconds since I started sharing this contemplation. How many of these humans really thought they were going to die today? When it is time for me to die, it will happen in an ordinary human moment, just like this one. How much time do I have left? Our lifespan, like that of all living beings, is not fixed. This is the fourth contemplation of death. The fifth contemplation, death has many causes. contemplate the infit, infinite ways in which death can manifest, from accident to illness, conditions inherited from family and inherits in being a modern human, headache, heart disease, and the latest plague. There are endless causes that can lead to death. Allow the mind to consider these possibilities without avoidance, one way or another. Whether I have whether I have spent precious energy worrying about a potential condition or never saw it coming at all, I will still have the same end result. How may lack knowledge, the unknown, and released any hold on preferences of my death. There is a vast spectrum of conditions that can end life. Death has many causes. This is a fifth contemplation of death. The sixth contemplation: our human body is fragile and vulnerable. One breath, one moment, one mistake can bring life to a surprising and rapid end. Life is precious and requires many interwoven systems to function. Requires many interwoven systems functioning with precision to continue at any time for any reason, and sometimes for no reason at all. These systems may fail. Attending to my inhalation, I deepen my appreciation for everything that has functioned adequately and allowed me to make it today, bringing awareness to my inhalations, exhalations. I acknowledge that death is not a failure, but inevitably for for fall for feasible physical form. Our body, our human body is fragile and vulnerable. This is the sixth contemplation of death. The seventh contemplation: my loved ones cannot keep me from death. I came to the world alone and must face death alone. I may turn to loved ones in time of hardship, but even if they are doctors, which is a spiritual beings, they are ultimately powerless in preventing death. There are limitations to our attachments, and clinging to them in sorrow may actually make dying more difficult. The inevitability of death cannot be altered by even the strongest bonds. I will not burden my loved ones with this expectation. Holding this thought in mind, I exercise non grasping. I ask myself, what will help me at the moment of my death? My loved ones cannot keep me from death. This is the seventh contemplation of death. The eighth contemplation of death. Now of death, material resources will be of no use to me. My cherished belongings, potent medicines, and stories of and stores of money must be left behind, as the ancient tombs of Egyptian royalty have proven. I take nothing with me, no matter how much I've accumulated, and how carefully my belongings have been preserved. Nothing will help me avoid my inevitable death. Furthermore, my possessions must be redistributed after my death. I have to let go of everything. I contemplate how I may release attachment to my possessions now. What do I wish to invest in for the remainder of my days? How might I leave a lighter footprint when I am gone? Now of death, material resources will be of no use to me. This is the eighth contemplation of death. The ninth contemplation of death. My own body cannot help me at the time of death. Despite the care and attention invested into the body, it too will be lost at the moment of death. All the exercise and rest and nourishment and abuse, self-love, and burnout will come to an end at death. My most intimate companion, the vehicle through which I have traveled this lifetime from conception to death, must ultimately be left behind. I am dependent upon my body now, as it allows me to breathe and exist this present moment, and yet I will join every human ancestor before me in letting go of this vessel. How might I better prepare for this departure? What can I do to strengthen my awareness and capacity to surrender to death? Inhaling, I find refuge in my earthly body. Existing, I practice letting go. My own body cannot help me at the time of death. This is the ninth contemplation of death. The nine contemplations of death allow us to confront our inevitable end. Now that we have discussed them all, I invite you to notice which contemplations are challenging for you and which can approach which can you approach with ease. These are nine contemplations. Death is inevitable. My lifespan is decreasing continuously. Death will come regardless of whether I'm prepared for it. My lifespan is not fixed. Death has many causes. My human body is fragile and vulnerable. My loved ones cannot keep me from death. My material resources cannot help me or cannot help at the moment of death. And my own body can't help me at the time of death. Okay, guys, last page for A. Consider these truths deeply. Allow these contemplations to invite profound awakening to the external realities of life and death. They may guide you towards a more mindful existence, honoring connection to all humans who have died and have contemplated death before you. I invite you to wiggle your fingers and toes connected to your life, giving breath. And when you are ready, open your eyes. Thank you for practicing with me. You are a good grief doula. Okay, guys, I thought that would be a good one to start out this afternoon's shows with. So with that being said, that is A for you. I'll be back on shortly with B. For now, Gator Wellness. Take care, folks.